There's a spider in my windshield. Well, not anymore at least. But the story of it serves as a model for a style of life I am constantly trying to achieve maximum efficiency at. This model of life is one where you never have things nagging at you in the background. One where you are no longer pushing things into a forbidden closet, never to be opened again. Not anymore. This time, you are on top of your game. You have reached the apex of this mountain you are trying to climb. It is empty at the top, but you can rest up and get ready to climb the next one. What height shall we reach today, tomorrow, next week? It is all about the efficiency you allow yourself to be put through. That is where you win. Let us get ready to ascend today on Clean's Chats. Every time I start to record one of these, I have to get in one of these like moods. Well, not really a mood, like a setting, like a vibe, you know? It's pitch black, darkness, it's nighttime out. I think every single Clean Chats episode so far in the series I recorded at night. It's just the perfect mood. It's when the brain is really just digging at you with some thoughts and giving you ideas on what to do, you know? Why does the brain always have to be so talkative during the evening? That's when I'm trying to go to bed. But I'm so happy I'm not in bed right now, because right now I'm returning with another episode of Clean Chats. Hi, by the way, my name is Zach. How have you all been? I hope you all have been doing really well. Where have I been? Well, that's not really a Clean Chats thing. That's more of a whole YouTube branding thing that I've been doing for just me on the internet, honestly. So that's not really one that I can really express here a lot. But with the intro, little announcement, I'll also say it here. Yes. Hallelujah, everyone. It took 2 years, but consistency will be happening on this podcast for the first time ever. Every 4 weeks, there will be a new episode of Clean Chats all the way to the end of the year. I know. You're ecstatic. Your boots are squeezing, squirming. There's a snake in it, probably. You gotta take it out. And I'm not gonna spoil it, but I basically am by telling you it's every 4 weeks. It perfectly lines up with doing it on these Saturdays. Every 4 weeks, it perfectly lines up that episode, I believe 14, will be on the last day of the year. Now, doesn't that sound cool? If you know me and who I am as a person and what I've been doing on the internet, you're like, oh, of course, Zach. You and your brain always making things work out. I know. You can flaunt to me all you want later or in my DMs or something. But here, I'm just here to hit you with some brain candy, you know, hit you with my mumbo jumbo as you are doing whatever you need to do. Which I guess that's kind of been the main thing, right? I've been trying to experiment with kind of this podcast and kind of how I want to do things and how I want to think about how you are doing things, right? Because if I am modeling this as a podcast, you can't model it as any other YouTube video, right? Think of how people listen to podcasts in bed, like maybe they're working, maybe they're driving on the road somewhere. Like they don't have to actively look at the screen. You guys can look at whatever you want. You guys can just be all around your day. You could be playing a video game, doing anything, you know? So it's hard to say that. Well, it's not hard if you do a normal podcast where you just talk about your life. You're like, so last week I went to this Braves game. It was pretty cool. I got a Frozen like Svedka thing that was crazy. The Braves crushed them like 12-2 or something. And then these past few weeks I saw some movies. I mean, I've actually seen a lot of movies. Let's count. In this summer, I've seen Top Gun Maverick, the Bob's Burgers movie, Thor, Sonic, the Strange Into the Multiverse, Minions: The Rise of Gru, the Jurassic World movie. Did I mention all the Marvel ones? Yes. Have I seen anything else? Something else that might have mistaken me. And then I finished Stranger Things, which honestly on its own was like a movie. I'm surprised they didn't do that in theaters. You know, that would have been fun. And so I saw all the movies. And like people eat that up, right? People eat up all this stuff as they're doing whatever they are on the road. But when you actually get something as what I've been trying to accomplish, is all this kind of deep, insightful, reflective knowledge. It could be a little tricky because you're like, oh, I'm just playing this game and I'm talking about existential crisis stuff. At least that. I had a friend, I think it was after episode 4. He's like, hey man, these podcasts are pretty depressing. And I'm like, not all of them, but some of these episodes are a little depressing, man. Can we get some happiness in here? Okay. True. It's tough. It's tough, getting into the right flow where I can be insightful in a positive way. And I think that's what I've lined up here. Obviously, as you know, so that means I have, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I have 7 episodes lined up for the rest of the year, that means, right? Which is kind of fun. Let's think about it this. First 2 years, 7 episodes. Last 6 months of 1 year, 7 episodes. Look, you guys know on my survival game series, that stuff is not even slightly, that doesn't even make sense, my survival game series, the way I uploaded consistently, which wasn't at all, because the fact is I was done with 300 games through 2014, and getting the next 150 games took 7 more years. I'm the king of doing stuff like this. You can't stop me. And I know for those, it doesn't really matter as much, right? Because those are just videos in a series that'll eventually get done. But this is a podcast. This is what I'm actively trying to pursue. I'm trying to actively gauge fans to be excited every single time one drops. But if it takes months to get them out there, like a podcast will just start to lose faith, a podcast will lose steam. A series like all those Minecraft stuff and kind of my video games and everything else, that stuff can always be there for people. But this is when I'm actively trying to get the train moving. And when you're at the station for 4 months, it's going to rust up. So, that's a whole metaphor for my whole channel right now. Right now, I'm parked at the station, and I've been really figuring out how I want to do this. So, I think we take it one step at a time, right? And so, first step, let's lock down Clean's chats for the rest of this year. Let's get some consistency. Let's get some episodes. So, here I am. I'm at my mic. Had a little bit of a drink before this because God knows every single time I record one of these, my throat is dead. Classic stuff, right? And then you have a list of random garbage and malacco you're going to throw at me, Zach, which is also true. Nah. I actually do want to talk about kind of YouTube a little bit more, which can kind of help tie into everything as we start to really get into it. Because I've taken a lot of small breaks on YouTube. And I had a whole episode about it in, I think it was Survival Games 450. It was called YouTube Demotivation. And this was the era of 2016 with the small Bad Lion MCSG YouTubers that really just kept losing steam. They kept quitting, they kept stopping, like falling flat on their face. And I made a video just kind of to disperse my own beliefs, my own opinions about how I felt about it all. How you can feel burnout, you can feel demotivated to do things. And it's like, how did I keep doing it for so long when no one watched? Well, I'm gonna say no one, but not many people watched. And, well, you know, I had to take it as kind of a two-way battle where I'm like, okay, clearly, you know, I'm at a stage where I'm doing this for fun. A lot of it is for fun. I'm having a blast doing it. I'm still interacting with people doing it. I'm using this as a way to talk to my friends, to interact with my friends. But yeah, at the same time, it's like, you know, I have a lot of other things I'm doing and making sure I'm keeping my eyes on that. And, you know, it kind of fit perfectly into that whole shtick of I'm having fun doing this. It's working out my schedule. Everything's going hunky-dory. Because it's hard. Life is... It's like not... It's kind of weird. I've had a weirder kind of insight and turnaround in how life, like, sure, there's, you know, how do I say this? You have a lot of free time, weirdly enough, but the things at which you take time to do take so long, right? Like I have a list of the things I want to do this summer, the bangin' awesome summer list 2022. That's literally what I called it. And it's like, there's actually not that many things on there, but the effort and the push to really get it into a perfect state that I'm happy with, that's kind of the hard part. Because while there's not many things on there, it can be real tough to get you where you want to be, in a way. So, and I wanted to make sure that everything kind of around me was also perfect. It's kind of a weird kind of environment quirk I have. It's like I'm driving with a, you know, flat wheel, like a flat or like completely like shot out wheel, right? There's still so much I want to do with my brand, so I want to do with my content, that I kind of wanted to do, not do a whole kind of refresh. I wanted to just take a whole step back and make sure everything was ready so that I could push it out at once. And that was hard. That's why things kept getting delayed in my channel. Also, just personally, I was needing to not only do this for my channel, but my life. 2022 hit you quick, and it won't stop hitting you, and life won't stop hitting you as well. So don't let you get hit. You hit back. Well, not physically, but you know. So that's why I needed to make sure that I was balancing all these things. And so I did take small YouTube breaks a lot of the time. Life got in the way. You get into a flow of life, and then you're stuck, and you got to break through. Life is addicting, and this is kind of hinting at a potential new topic. But life is so addicting that you can get addicted into a cycle, into a schedule of things. Where, man, so many days of high school, I would just, you know, go to the school, do all the work there, go, just, you know, homework or whatever. Well, I didn't do the homework yet. And maybe I did if I was cool enough. But then, you know, talk to friends for an hour, go home, go on the couch, sleep there for 2 hours, 2 to 3 hours even, eat food, go upstairs, do homework. And even though I would still have a lot of free time at the end of the day, I got into such a rhythm of just, you know, watching videos or just playing games, doing small things that I was like just kind of helping me think about stuff, and then I go to bed and repeat. And it was such a cycle that even life's addicting. It's hard to break out of that. So that's why it's kind of, once you start a small break, it's hard to stop. And I was especially thinking about that for this, when I had to break out and finally start making these again, and getting my whole brand with Cleanfel ready again. It was something I had to break out of. And when I saw that all this stuff aligned with the dates and a chance for me to be consistent for the rest of the year, I'm like, this is your shot? You taking it? Is this it? As Eminem would say, or are you gonna let slide? Well, as you can tell, if you're hearing this, it's been took. I took it, and here we are. So, yeah, that's kind of a small one, but life is definitely addicting. And you need to make sure you have a list of things that, this is how I honestly really enjoy my life's kind of bound by a bunch of to-do lists. It's always been my homework list. This year specifically, I kept doing this as a way for me to not lose pace in this constant cycle of life, because you can just keep pushing things back, right? Like, we're all getting old, but there's always another day. We have a lot of free time. We have a lot of time. I talked a lot about time in like 2 episodes, but we still have a lot of time. And when there's a little thing you need to do, what's the problem of pushing it back one more day, right? So, it's definitely not, a bang in the park, Because the thing is, some of these things are different than others. Some of these things are way more than others. Some of these things are huge. Some of these talk about entire, cleaning of my entire digital footprint, which I'm always kind of a stickler about. I just always want to be clean on the internet. Like, not literally like my name sake, but just because having a clean internet footprint just makes you feel, I'd say maybe complete, or it makes me feel at peace, makes me feel not like jagged anywhere, like it's all smooth over there, right? And that stuff can be especially hard because the internet's an absolute addictive mind swirl where you can say, I'm just gonna keep doing this and keep working and keep chunking, and it's fine. What's another day of just not cleaning up the Twitter or the Instagram? Who's gonna go crazy? Because at the end of the day, who's really gonna notice? Unless you're very, very big, really have to pay attention to it. If you're just a little person out there on the internet, if you just take another day off to not clean that up, what's gonna happen? Well, that's exactly the point. Nothing might happen, but the fact is, you will be at risk with yourself with pushing all that away. So there's definitely a lot that comes with all the opportunities you have in life to kind of keep pushing things away, and finally just ripping off band-aids and getting things done. And I've done a lot that this summer. I've cleaned up my clothes. Like, that's one that always nags at me. I threw a bunch of crap away I've never even touched in this room for years. I cleaned up all my emails, got in contact with all my professors. I want to say one thing I've not done in college at all is have relationships with my professors. It's been just a real they always want you to, at the end of day of the first class of the semester, you'll always see those 3 or 4 or 5 kids, maybe even 10. I go to a tech school, so 10, right? All the nerds, they're like, gotta be professor, gotta be his best friend. It's like, gotta say hi, how are you? Why did you do this? Why did you become this professor? I study, I'm majoring in this field. Like, how do you think I should do, or what should I look out for? Stuff like that, right? Those kids are crazy. but they're cool. And it's just like I could never just get that urge enough to do it. I did have amazing like high school teachers. I got to be actually good friends with a few of them, and I still kind of follow them today. But man, college pressure is a whole nother game. It's just never got that urge to go out there. But you know, those people are so cool. The way they can just go for it, not push it back. So another thing I wanted to do was clean it up. Actually contact my professors, tell them what was going on with me, how I'm doing, getting ready for my last semester of college. I had to clean up my apartment. I had to clean that up. I completely moved out, got that one out of the bunch. Had to set up my trips that are coming up in this summer, as well as potentially down the line. It's just like, man, every single time you cross the thing off the list, things feel good. Things feel awesome. But you gotta be careful, because this is the hardest part, right? So here we go. We're crossing things off this list, getting things done, not pushing it back. But then it's dark. It's cold, empty. You've gotten most of the stuff off. Sure, you maybe have 2 or 3 or 4 more things in your internal mental list. But those are like constantly being done, or those are like the big name things like, oh, this is like the yearly stuff, or this is just the, graduate school, or this is the establish better connection with my friends or family. Like that stuff that's being worked on, or take care of my body. That stuff's constantly being worked on. You don't have the little things. You don't have the little quick time events. The little, I can go watch this show. Boop. There you go. That's another thing off the list. And yes, watching shows and playing games, that can also be on the list. Come on. We're nice about it. We're lenient about it. These lists can contain whatever you want, right? But it does feel empty up there, right? And this is the hardest part. When you have nothing working out with you, nothing nudging you, nothing eating at you in the background, nagging at you, you are at the top of your mountain, in a sense. But it's empty up there. You have nothing to work on. Or do you? Because that is the next best part. Because then you start to look for new things. You start to look for new ways to achieve awesomeness. You start to turn another direction and you see more hills, or you see more mountain. So the biggest thing is that, once you fix or you improve or you constantly change the things about you to put you into this greatness that you've always wanted to achieve, what can you do with that newly set of skills? What can you actually get done with what you've already done, right? It's like you're not even at the top of the hill. You were in the basement and now you're at the ground floor, but you're trying to go to the attic. You're trying to go soaring, right? I kind of went through this once. 2018, I wanted to just do a full reset of everything. I wanted to do a full reset of how I was reflecting in myself at school, which I wasn't performing at well. I wanted to do a complete redirect in how I interacted with people. I wanted to, clean up my content, and that's kind of all this was metaphorically into the Cleans 19, where I had a ton of just extra videos that I just laid and chopped out, and I just spit them out there, and then they were all done. 2020 hit, and I was kind of at this mountain where I was like, I did all this, but what do you do now? And it felt empty up there. It's weird. It's weird how when you achieved everything you wanted to do, while you felt peace and happy, and you're just like, yes, and you felt so gratified in what you did, you felt a little empty. Because maybe you enjoyed that push. You maybe enjoyed that challenge of trying to get that thing done that you were finally nagging at you. It's like a bittersweet thing. And that's why we as people don't even stop. You don't stop at the mountain. You always yearn for the next thing, the next achievement. So maybe it's not something you're outly trying to improve upon yourself. Maybe something completely new jumping into your life is about to unfold. And that's the next mountain you climb. All right? Maybe something random happens in your life and you just completely turn 180. You're like, okay, new mountain is going to start forging. We're going up here. That happened to me in 2021. I mean, 2020, that happened for everyone. I mean, COVID hit. Everyone's like, okay, what I thought I needed to accomplish is now completely different because I can't go outside for a few months to years. So let's start shaping something new. And that's hard for a lot of people. A lot of people having that big change in dynamic and what you had ready to do, and then you have to completely dash all of that. Oh my god, I don't know what I said. To do something new, man, that's tough. That was tough for all of us, right? But we got through it. And then now you're kind of trying to curve that mountain back to the original stuff that you wanted to do earlier. And so it kind of works out. You have a growing path. You know, your mountain, which I guess I'm basically making a metaphor of a mountain being your life. Your mountain is not just linear, bro. You are going up and down. You know, you have dips. Mountains have a smaller apex, but they go down into the dip and then go back up. It's like a cryptograph. You are constantly changing elevations, changing directions. It's bumpy, man. It is bumpy. But you're creating that path on your own, and you're making new ones, and you're getting some amazing things done, that's for sure. So it's crazy that, you split these little to-do lists up in your mind to do these small things, right? And once you split them up, then maybe it's little like bite-sized pieces. You're like, oh, I just want to do this little part of this thing, and then that's good. Let's go. We did that. And then you start and work on the next one, and then, ready or not, the whole thing's done. Of course, I never really followed this model for school, like essays. You're like, oh, do a little bit of this essay today, then do a little bit. No, I never did that. 3 hours, take it or leave it, the whole thing. So look, school was really hard to do this model for. Look, I think everyone can agree on that. But once you churn up that mountain, you get all that work done. It does feel great, doesn't it? Right? So it's, man. And it's also just it's just a mental thing, right? Having all those things nag at you in the background, having all those just you have that closet. You just gotta clean out the closet. The closet can be anything. And it's just a nightmare. And at some point you just get broken by it. You just don't know what to do. You don't even how to start, how to even approach it. You hit a brick wall. I know there's a lot of people, I feel like everybody at life in one point, even if you're achieving great things, amazing things, no matter what, it's crazy that sometimes you just brick wall. You hit it. Can't move. You physically cannot bring your legs to move a step forward. This happens a lot in marathons. It's kind of a thing, right? They say, like, don't hit the wall. or yeah. I was looking up a clip before I started this episode. I remember a scene from a movie. It was like training for a marathon, and in the movie they like literally stopped moving because he hit the brick wall. I can't find it, but there was something like that. Maybe it was on a TV show or something where, like, even with all the training, all the mental stamina, fortitude to do something that amazing, you can still hit the wall. And that is brick, bro. You got to punch through that. That's not easy. And I've definitely hit that before. But it's like, in the moment, you don't even know how to do it. It just happens. It's kind of a thing where you phase out and you take a step forward and you don't look back. It's hard to explain that, isn't it? That's like a feeling. That's like one of those like nuanced feelings that you can't explain, like nostalgia. Like you can't put your finger on nostalgia whatsoever. You don't even know, like, it's such a weird feeling, but it happens. It's the similar feeling when you get that feeling of you just hit the brick wall. You don't even know what's happening, but you hit it, and that is some powerful stuff. You know? I mean, there's nothing stopping you at that point, right? Once you get through it, there's nothing left to do. Now, of course, there could be multiple brick walls, but as far as the brick wall for that whatever item you were accomplishing or achieving goes, I mean, that one's done. You might hit more for maybe stuff for your career, stuff for your friends, stuff for your family, stuff for your hobbies or activities, something for your spiritual activity, something for anything. Each one of those has a brick wall. Even the small stuff can have a brick wall. There's nothing more powerful and more awesome than finally pushing through it, right? So it's no longer just a game of getting a thing off a checklist. It's making a chisel of just the things that you want to desire most, the things that on your just absolute instant must-have list, the things that are right front and center at the entrance of that closet, that you will attack first, that you will get out of there first. The things that are poking at you, you will poke back. That's not really the right thing you want to do. You'll cut their finger off. No, that is not it at all. But you'll let it stop. And so each of those, has a wall to push through. Some are effortless, some are immobile. But we're awesome enough that we keep going. Even when you hit a wall of steel, you keep going. You don't let those things take over you anymore. You don't let those things basically just stay there. And it's hard. A lot of times things just stay with you forever, right? And that stuff's really tricky. I wouldn't say I'm one to kind of experience like the actual mental like anxiety, right? The one that actually people have, like I can be stressed, but like anxiety is like a real like big thing. And at that, sometimes you just live with it, and sometimes that stuff's really hard to kind of fathom. You have to deal with. And I'm always big on giving people like, wow, a lot of props for being able to handle all that stuff. I really with seeing what I get stressed by, I don't even know how I could deal with, stuff like anxiety, depression, any of that. That stuff's, those are the real champions there. Those stuff, the people are things that you can't really, truly, clear out. But those things that you can constantly fight, right? Things you can constantly, like a shackle while you're climbing this mountain. It's with you, but you're still climbing that mountain. Whether they like it or not, you're getting it done. You're crossing that thing off your list, and you're saying it's no biggie. Biggie Smalls, at least. Speaking of to-do lists, I mean, you have a to-do list for me right here of what I want to talk about, right? It's a very abstract to-do list. I mean, I'm jumping all over the place. Whenever things feel right to insert, they get inserted, That's the fun of it all. That's the fun of life, too, Sometimes life just flows and you get things done and it just works. And you're just like, wow, that all kind of went together really well there. How did that fit into this, which made me shift perfectly in my mind to do this? Life's just beautiful like that. Life's beautiful physically, but it's also beautiful in how you route your way of life. We're also very different in what we're doing, and it still works out that way. That's so crazy. And yeah, it's crazy hard, but it's crazy awesome when you get hit in that brick wall. When you have things that make you just stop, have things that completely take you over, you still go through life. You're still completing smaller things, even though those other things are hitting you in the back, and you're still pushing them. Around April of last year, I want to say it was April. I'm trying to think. It was like a springtime. I noticed a spider roaming around my car. It freaked me out a little bit because it wasn't like a small size. It was decently sized. And I was on the way to work. I was driving. I was like, holy crap, I need to stay focused. So I kind of kept my eye on it as I got to work. I'm like, I don't have time to deal with this. Give a little smush. Realistically, I could have taken time to be careful, get it out of my car, and be nice about it. I've been trying to come around on my hatred of insects. Sometimes insects are okay. Why do you have to be mean to the insects? But I just had no time, and I'm like, okay, I don't want to be paranoid about where the spider is in my car for the next few days. Give it a squish. I'm going to work. Like, I had to clock in, and that was that. So there's spider bits on my car, and it's like, okay, yeah, that's fine. Work. I was working and whatever, so I was like, okay. And once I got, drove, once the day was over, I'm like, oh, okay. Well, the spider's there, and spider bits are in my car windshield. It's like it's okay. It's not crazy at me, but I should clean that though. And I did clean it. 1 year later, this is true. I kept bits of a spider that was just stuck to my windshield near like kind of the rear view mirror for an entire year because life got real busy. Things kept nagging at me in the back. I kept having to park, every time I parked my car in a very inconvenient place. I'd never have a napkin. I'd never have a paper towel. I'd never have anything to clean it. I don't want to wear my shirt on it. But it never got done. It became the things that nag at anyone, nag at me, nag at you. And it became a part of my life. Yeah, you see, that's Zach, and that's Zach's car, and that's the spider bits of Zach that he smushed 1 year ago. He's put in his windshield. It's weird, right? How the things that you don't take care of become a part of you in a way. Because I would notice it every few often. The following days, I'd notice the spider bits. I'm like, in the moment, I'm like, man, I should really get paper towels or something to clean it. But then I get to work, or I get to school, or I get to talking to my parents. It all just flies out. Because that's such a small thing. That's such a small thing to do. Just clean a spider off the windshield. It's like literally mute zero. No, 9 million on the list of priorities there. That it nearly always got forgotten in the short term. To the point where it just became a part of me. Days, weeks went on. I started just forgetting that it was there. It just kind of got out of my peripheral vision, as if it was just a part of the car, as if it was just a part of me. And while I was doing personal cleanup in my life earlier this year, where I was really getting every minute detail to get scrubbed off, to get it out, I finally took some Kleenex and cleaned the spider. In fact, I think 2 weeks later I cleaned my whole car because, the window got smashed in because my car got broken into recently. That was fun. Don't worry, nothing got stolen because I don't keep anything important in my car besides like phone chargers. So you don't have to worry. I did have to get the whole window replaced. Extensive cleanup on everything. But hey, it looks pretty good now. Every so often I still find a glass shard. I'm like, oh, so pretty. They really broke that sucker. But at least it's all clean. And there's no more spider in the windshield. There's no more nagging. How minute it might be and how dumb it is. The spider was nagging at me. That every time I just wouldn't have the time, it was just not, the effort was just not even there, because I'd have to get out of my parking garage while I was at college, go down, go into the lobby of my apartment building, go up the elevator, maybe get cleaning products, go back down, go to the car. It was just like, no. And so it became a part. Filing in with all the other things that nag at you in the background. As you go through life, as you go up this mountain, the shackles that are on you, you kept pushing things back. But finally, when you start to shape life how you want it, you start to really tick off the things on that to-do list, the things that really, you split all these things up into what you want, and you get tick, 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 boom. That's where everything works. That's where you clean up the small things. That's where you get life the way you want it. Where you're the most efficient you've ever been at cleaning the things that are going on in your life. That's where you clean some spider off your windshield. So whatever spider is on your windshield, I'm not telling you to go clean it, but, get that mental list going. Get those things that are keeping you from going up the mountain to where you want to be. And you're not stopping at just the top of one mountain. You're going up multiple. You're going up so many. Never stop climbing those mountains. But particularly, never stop to notice the things that might be nagging at you, shackled to you, as you're climbing them. Some might be locked, but some might be able to get scrubbed off. And then you clean it up. You got it done. And that's where things start to be fun again. That little tiny nag makes it where you're at the top of your game, where you can notice something like that. And that is the coolest thing about climbing these amazing mountains. Because that's the journey, right? Because, that's part of the history. Me cleaning that spider. And once I've cleaned it, even though it's still in the history books, it knows that I've now passed it. And it's still being forged or carved into the terrain of this mountain that I am going to. And that you are all going to too. So, I wish you luck on all your mountains that you're going up to this year or just in your entire life, right? Hope you have the right gear, climbing, get everything you need, food, refreshments, and yeah. Maybe everyone's apex is a little different height of these mountains, but I hope to see you at the top of yours. I'll ring a bell, you get some binocular goggles or something, and I'll wave high. Make sure to put a flag down, mark your progress, keep going, stuff like that, and never stop climbing. All right. Hope you all enjoyed. Thank you for sticking with and listening. And again, I hope you're excited as 4 weeks later you'll be enjoying another episode of Clean Chats and another, so on and so forth. So till then, keep an eye out on Cleanfel's YouTube and Twitch and everything. Keep an eye out on my Discord. Honestly, my Discord is the place where I'm active. Go there if you need it. It's in the description. But thank you, and yeah, I will catch you guys later. Take care and have a good one.